Hey guys, this is a walkthrough of the Portland Retro Gaming Expo arcade and console play area. This is actually the third time I've been to Portland Retro Gaming Expo. It was held on October 18th and 19th, 2014. This is the console free play area. They had a lot of unique consoles here, everything from the Atari 2600 to the ColecoVision, obviously Intellivision, a lot of the main retro games, but they did have some unique ones like the Vectrix, for example, and some other ones that are really cool. So there's people playing Street Fighter 2, original NES, looks like Mega Man, possibly, Tetris. They did have a Tetris tournament going on here as well during this, and I think the winner got a special limited Tetris cart, which is really cool. Here's a Super Nintendo, of course, and you guys are playing, oh, it looks like Mario World, possibly. But yeah, the classic TVs, of course, which is cool, definitely fit the mood. Every year I've gone to this expo, it keeps getting bigger and bigger. I'm not quite sure how many thousands of people were here, but what's cool about the arcade area, which I'm going to show you here in a second, is that it actually it takes up quite a bit of space, which is cool, but it's open till midnight, both Friday night and Saturday night, which is awesome. So definitely a really cool place to hang out after the exhibit hall closes. You can come over to the arcade and play some games, all on free play. And let's get to that. Let me show you what the arcade section is all about. So here, coming on to the arcade area, they had some vendors here, kind of, I think they were giving away Miss Pac-Man for like a raffle. That's cool. Zach's on. There's a Joust for sale for 950 bucks. One of my favorite arcade games, Joust. Such a great game to play multiplayer. A lot of pinball machines actually here. Varying in as far as years they were released. You got some really interesting ones from the 90s. You got ones from the 70s, etc., so forth. Some really classic one. There's a Firepower, I believe. Haunted House, which is a great one. That's a 3-tier pinball. It's got the normal playing field. You get the one underneath that plays upside down, and then you get the higher one. Really fun one. If you guys want to know a really cool pinball app, it's just called Pinball Arcade. You can play it, get it for free on iOS or Android. A lot of these classic games are actually on there, which is great, including Haunted House. And The Machine, I believe, is on there as well. At least Pinbot is, which is the first one, which is a great classic pinball machine. But I love pinball because it's kind of, you play against yourself, basically, and it's just really challenging. It's a lot of fun, a lot of ways to score. Moving on from pinball, you have some other classic arcades. Video pinball right there by Atari. That's kind of a unique one. And there's Fire Truck. That's another unique one. But back to video pinball. That one actually is a pinball, but it's all video, which is cool. It came out in the late 70s. And that Fire Truck is actually a 2-player racing game. You have a person stand behind you, and you're sitting in front. Very unique, really unusual. Crazy Taxi, but unfortunately that was not working at this time. There is Rush by Atari, 2049, 720. Some cocktail games as well. I think that was Track and Field I just passed. Here's coming on to the Nintendo line. So you had normal Donkey Kong. There's a Pauline edition we're coming across here. It's like a pink. The guy's playing, the blue shirt's playing it. Really cool because you actually play as Pauline instead of Mario. It's a hack, but the cabinet looks beautiful because it's done in a really unique way. It's another interesting Nintendo cab. It has like Mario Brothers, it has Donkey Kong Jr. and original Donkey Kong all in one. And it came out, I think, several years ago, maybe like 10 years ago. Pretty cool. A bunch of Pac-Man games. Pac-Mania, you definitely don't see that every day. Several Miss Pac-Mans, which is classic, and the Galaga Miss Pac-Man Anniversary. There's Mappy. Journey. It's the first time I ever played Journey. I think it's by Midway. I guess they had on their tour, but it's a pretty unusual arcade. A lot of fun, actually. There's kind of multiple games in one, kind of similar to, if you ever played Tron, it's kind of similar to Tron. You get to choose what kind of game you want to play, but it has you play as a band members, and it has a Journey music in it, which is hilarious. Pretty fun, interesting. Here's The Simpsons Arcade by Konami. Great game. Gauntlet, of course, by Atari. That's a lot of fun, too. There's the original Gauntlet. There is Killer Instinct. Or, I'm sorry, that's actually Dark. It's Gauntlet as well. Here's Killer Instinct. And here's Street Fighter 2. Now, I don't believe there was a dedicated Street Fighter 2 cabinet. I think they were all conversions. There's Mortal Kombat. So this is all the fighting ones. Tekken to Neo Geo, of course. It looks like a 4-slot. My Neo Geo 4-slot is actually a little taller than that. There's 2 different versions. And there's, of course, the mini or smaller Neo Geo as well you can pick up. A lot of different varieties of that, of course. You can see how busy this is. And this is filmed late at night. I love the hockey tabletop hockey game too. It's pretty cool. But I think I said from this at like 11 o'clock. It's still pretty busy. There's Tempest. Again, they had these are classic Atari ones. I like how everything was kind of set as far as thing goes. They did a good job as far as laying these arcades out. So if you had pinballs in one area, fighters, Nintendo, this is the Atari line. Here is Tempest, great retro-style graphic game. Love the controls. Centipede, which is a classic Millipede, of course. It's a sequel to that. There's a kind of multiple in one. Arkanoid, a really fun game yet challenging game. These are the candy cabs, smaller cabinets people are playing, ranging games as far as Frogger to there's Centipede, some other ones. Of course, a tabletop cocktail arcade coming up. The reason they call it cocktail arcade is because a lot of times they would put them in bars and people just put their cocktail drinks on them. Probably one of the best tables you could find. There's a joust, multiplayer joust, I believe, and it's Pac-Man, and like the guy's playing Centipede. Overall, this is a really, really fun show. As you can hear, there's a final line, Hubert, and they had a ton of games. You can see how packed it was. There's Tron, speaking of which, I mentioned that before. Robotron. A good friend of mine, Greg from Arcade Impossible, awesome show, by the way. Definitely check him out on YouTube. He's a huge fan of Robotron. He's got a really high score on it, so that's like one of his favorite games. There's another Joust, and some other games. So, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. If you guys want to stay in touch, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, as well as my website, Gamester81.com. Let me know if there's a certain arcade that you saw in this video that you like particularly. I'm more partial to Star Wars Arcade, which they didn't have, but they had Donkey Kong, which is awesome, and I love Joust as well. Thanks for watching. Take care, guys. See ya.